O'Malley Stadium, Oxford. The first time that Oxford have staged an England-Denmark test match. And Denmark have won the toss. So there you can see the rider in white, Erik Gundersen. His partner in yellow and black is John Eskildsen. John's in grid 3. On the outside, it's Phil Collins, riding in blue. And all three are in fact waiting for the rider in red, who's the Yorkshireman Kenny Carter. John Berry looking after the England side. Ole Olsen, of course, responsible for the Danes. And John Berry, the England team manager at the moment, on the centre green talking to Colin Pratt. Colin has been very helpful to John in regard to the riders and their machinery. And the riders now come to the line. Frank Ebden, the referee, is ready. And the tapes go up. And it's Denmark's John Eskildsen in yellow and black who leads Phil Collins of England, followed by Erik Gundersen in white of Denmark. 4-2 on the cards for Denmark, as Eskildsen negotiates that bend very well, but Collins takes a bit of drive there, tries very hard to come inside, almost collides with Gundersen. Eskildsen still leads in yellow and black, followed by Collins, then Gundersen. And Collins just looking for a mistake that Eskildsen might make, and trying very hard to capitalise on it, but doesn't succeed. Eskildsen now having just a slight lead, and Collins still persisting on this outside move, which unfortunately doesn't pay off. And the result is a nice start for Denmark to the tune 4-2. John Eskildsen wins in yellow and black. Second, Phil Collins in blue. And third in white, Erik Gundersen. 4-2 for Denmark. Coming up now to Heat 2. And this time it's England who have the inside position. That's Simon Wigg in red on grid 1. Next to him in white, Bo Petersen of Denmark. Then Jeremy Doncaster in blue, he's in grid 3. And on the outside it's Preben Eriksson in yellow and black. Simon Wigg, very much the local hero here at Oxford. Born in Aylesbury, one of England's brightest prospects. And I'm sure this afternoon he'll be out to show the home crowd that his choice for an England cap was a wise one. Riders taking their time to settle down. The starting marshal insisting that they come forward to the tapes. And they're away. And there's all sorts of problems there. The rider in blue, Jeremy Doncaster, going into the fence, and referee Frank Ebden has excluded the rider in white, Bo Petersen, the Danish rider, as being the reason for the fall, which Jeremy Doncaster took. So the race to be restarted, but without the rider in white, Bo Petersen. And Jeremy Doncaster there having a word with Simon Wigg. Jeremy managing to get onto his own machine without assistance. That's John Berry pointing and gesticulating for the riders to go back to the pits. Colin Pratt on hand there to give Jeremy a push. And there's England cooperation there for you, both team manager and rider, as well as assistant, all involved. Oh, Jeremy Doncaster lucky to get away with just the shaking. He certainly hit that fence pretty hard. Or rather, restarted. 3 riders only. And this time it's England who get themselves placed, hopefully, for a 5-1. Jeremy Doncaster outside of Simon Wigg, with Preben Eriksson, the rider in yellow and black, third. Doncaster taking quite a wide track, with Wigg hugging the inside white line, doing his best to keep out Preben Eriksson in yellow and black, who's looking for an opening, and if the England boys aren't careful, he'll find it. 1 lap to go. Wigg with Doncaster on his outside. Eriksson third. Likely to be no change to that racing order. The rider in blue just gets over the line first. That's a nice win for Jeremy Doncaster.
White excluded.
Second in red, Simon Wigg, and third in yellow and black, Preben Eriksson. 5-1, and after 2 heats, England lead Denmark by 7 points to 5. Heat 3 of the test. Tommy Knudsen for Denmark in white on the inside. Grid 2, Chris Morton, England, in red. Grid 3, Peter Ravn, Denmark, yellow and black. And on the outside, Kelvin Tatum. And we all go into the bend together, and what comes out the other side? It's England. Chris Morton in red. Just about to hold on to his lead, which has now been snatched from him by Tommy Knudsen in white. And Tommy Knudsen took that first place there beautifully, clean as a whistle. Increasing his lead now with Chris Morton second, and Kelvin Tatum just hanging on to third place, but he really has got a problem on his hands, although that problem now has disappeared because Peter Ravn overcooked it on the 4th bend. Still, Tommy Knudsen leads Chris Morton with Kelvin Tatum third. Chris Morton really riding that track well, but Knudsen takes the biscuit there. A superb win for him in white.
Red.
Second
Yellow,
in red, Chris Morton,
59.8.
and third in blue was Kelvin Tatum. And Roger tells us the time as 59.8. That's a good time here at Oxford. Good race. 3-3, progressive totals 10-8.
He was the fastest this season.
We come now to the 4th heat. In red, Simon Wigg. In yellow and black, John Eskilsson. In blue, Jeremy Doncaster, and in white, Erik Gundersen. And having given you that lineup, it's all 3-3 at the moment, because Simon Wigg, well, that serves me right, because Simon Wigg there was passed very nicely by John Eskilsson in yellow and black. John really has affinity with this track. He leads Simon Wigg and Jeremy Doncaster, who are in 2nd and 3rd places respectively. Wiggy has a try on the outside, and Eskilsson knows it. 1 lap to go. Still, John Eskilsson leads Simon Wigg with Jeremy Doncaster third, and Erik Gundersen really out of the hunt here. John Eskilsson wins in yellow and black. Second in red, Simon Wigg, and third in blue was Jeremy Doncaster. The points are 3-3. The scores after 4 heats are 13-11, And the time in Heat 3, which I mentioned, 59.8, the best seen at Oxford for many a long day. Now it's Heat 5, and this time it's Bo Petersen, who was the naughty boy in the previous race. He has the white helmet colour, he's on the inside. In the blue colour, it's Kelvin Tatum. In the yellow and black helmet, it's Ravn Eriksson. And with the red helmet, it's Chris Morton. Kelvin Tatum costs £18,000 for Coventry this year, and what an investment that amount of money has been for this young man. As it is Tatum who goes into the Cowley top turn, nicely set with two Danes on his tail, and Chris Morton trying to find an opening at the back. Kelvin Tatum leading Ravn Eriksson and Bo Petersen. The two Danes trying to keep out Chris Morton, and indeed succeeding. Morton's partner Tatum in first place, and the two Danes behind Tatum, with Morton really doing his pieces at the back, trying to find an opening past Bo Petersen. And a brave attempt, and indeed one that succeeded, because Morton took third place on the line there. The unlucky man was Bo Petersen in white. A real tigerish display there by Chris Morton to snatch that third place on the line, and the full result was a win for Kelvin Tatum in blue, second in yellow and black Ravn Eriksson, and third in red Chris Morton. 4-2, the score now 17-13. Well, the England team manager John Berry working very, very hard in the pits to keep the adrenaline flowing. 17-13 is the score after 5 heats. We're now to the 6th, in which the rider in blue, Phil Collins, has the inside position. Grid 2, Peter Ravn. Grid 3, Kenny Carter. Outside, Tommy Knudsen. Tommy Knudsen, born in Roker, Denmark, made his British League debut in 1979 for Coventry. Always a Coventry rider. And the referee not satisfied with the start of Heat 6. That's why the red lights are shown around the track here at Cowley. Frank Ebden, the referee, not satisfied with the start there. All riders are cautioned that they must remain still at the tapes. The new rule, of course, in British Speedway this year is that the riders come to the line, that the green light is shown, and after a gap of approximately 2 seconds, the tapes rise. Referees very keen to ensure that there is no movement at the tapes, and indeed this new ruling has stopped 1 or 2 riders who in the past have been known to get flyers. So now, with all 4 riders coming back to the line, having all of them earned a caution from referee Ebden, they try again. John Berry and Colin Pratt looking on. And this time, no problems at the start, and no problems for Tommy Knudsen, the Coventry rider, riding for Denmark this afternoon, with the rider in blue in close attendance. Phil Collins, British League Club Cradley. And third place at the moment is Peter Ravn in yellow and black. 4-2 for Denmark if the riders keep this situation going. Certainly Phil Collins determined to alter that position, and if he succeeds to get past Tommy Knudsen, then he'll be very pleased, and so will his team manager John Berry. And it was a very brave attempt there by Phil Collins to beat Tommy Knudsen. Very brave attempt indeed. And as the riders go back to the pits, the official result, here's a win for Tommy Knudsen in white, second in blue Phil Collins, and third in yellow and black Peter Ravn. 4-2 for Denmark, which makes the score now 19-17. Now here's something unique. Can you recognise the guy with the red, white and blue Union Jack in his right hand? If you can, you're doing very nicely, because I didn't recognise him earlier on. He's just putting that Union Jack now. But it is Bruce Penhall, the former world champion, who now is looking across at the line to the current world champion, the rider in white, who's Erik Gundersen. Erik's partner here will be John Eskilsson, who's riding in yellow and black. John, in fact, has just returned to come forward to the tapes yet again. We're still waiting for Chris Morton, the rider in red. Meantime, his partner is Kelvin Tatum. Bruce Penhall over from the United States on a flying visit, looking very tanned, but I think finding the Oxford air a trifle fresh this afternoon. About 4,500 fans here watching racing, who I think are also finding that the weather here in Oxford is none too warm. However, the racing is making up for it. Here we go with heat number 7. And we sort them out on the top bend there. Kelvin Tatum riding superbly in blue, holding off Erik Gundersen in white, with Chris Morton third. So England hanging on to a 4-2, with Gundersen trying the outside now, and Tatum realises he's there, says to himself, oh no you don't, but Gundersen wants to have another try. What a good race this is, with young Tatum holding the world champion. And the world champion pulling all the stops out, trying to make an impression on Kelvin Tatum, but my God, this young man has got a future in British Speedway. Kelvin Tatum, the winner in blue, second in white, Erik Gundersen, and third in red, Chris Morton. 4-2, making the score now 23-19, and everybody in the stadium applauding the efforts there of Kelvin Tatum, who deservedly won that fine race. Riders coming up to the line for the 8th heat. Inside in blue, Phil Collins. Next to him, Bo Petersen in white. Next to him, Kenny Carter in red. Grid 4, Preben Eriksson in yellow and black. And Bruce Penhall, having left the sunny shores of San Francisco yesterday, just can't believe how cold it is here. I tell you something, Bruce, the people here can't believe how cold it is either. For the end of April, 40 degrees is ridiculous. Off we go again. action on the top bend, with the rider in yellow and black finding a little problem there. Bo Petersen, meantime, has his work cut out in white to hold Phil Collins in blue. And Kenny Carter looks destined to hold third place. Although, having said that, Carter's having big problems. Rider in white, Bo Petersen, looking around to see where the rider in blue is. And the rider in blue now overtakes him. That's Phil Collins. Phil Collins leading Bo Petersen. And the rider in red,
Blue, white, red, yellow,
was not Kenny Carter, but in fact Andy Smith. Andy Smith, a late alteration. Blue, white, red, making the score 44-2, and the score now 27-21. Andy Smith coming in literally at the last minute. This is heat number 9, and in yellow and black it's Peter Ravn. In red it's Simon Wigg. In white it's Tommy Knudsen. In blue it's Jeremy Doncaster. Peter Ravn, very much the hero of the test at Coventry a couple of Saturdays ago, brought over to England to join Bellevue by Erik, where he remained for 2 seasons before joining Cradley to help them win the championship in 1983. When Peter Adams, the Cradley promoter, moved over to Wolverhampton, Peter Ravn went with him. He was the top scorer for Denmark last week at Coventry with 5 excellent wins. And the rider in blue being told by the referee that he must do what the starting marshal tells him, and that's John Berry there, just making sure that Jeremy, who of course is an Ipswich asset, understands that he must follow the starting marshal's instructions. And John Berry very anxious now that England should hold this 6-point lead as they come up to the interval heat here at Cowley. John must be one of the few people here who's not wearing an overcoat this afternoon. And really these riders are taking so long to settle down. I'm surprised that the referee is keeping some patience with them. And even now Doncaster is being told to move forward. And after what seemed eternity, the riders get started on the 9th heat. And oh dear, this is not what John Berry wanted. This is Denmark who are powering ahead in the form of Peter Ravn, who overcooks it on that turn and allows the rider in red, Simon Wigg, to come through. So Tommy Knudsen leads Simon Wigg, with Peter Ravn third, and Jeremy Doncaster trying at the back to come through. But he's going to have one terrible tussle ahead of him if he's going to achieve a third place, let alone second. At the moment it's Tommy Knudsen who leads Simon Wigg, Peter Ravn third, and at least out of what almost was a disaster for Denmark, England salvage 2 points at the expense of the Denmark pairing in Tommy Knudsen and Peter Ravn. So the result of an exciting indeed eventful Heat 9 was a win for Tommy Knudsen in white, second in red Simon Wigg, and third in yellow and black Peter Ravn. 2-4, and at the interval it's 29 to England, 23 to Denmark. Well, after a very short interval, the England team manager John Berry makes a change, brings in Richard Knight for an off-form Kenny Carter, who pairs with Phil Collins. Erik Gundersen and Jonas Gilson are the two Danes, and Richard Knight about to make a name for himself, because if he can keep this lead up, John Berry will want to use him again and again and again. Jonas Gilson is the rider in yellow and black, just behind Richard Knight, and third is the world champion Erik Gundersen. So the number 8, who came in place of the injured Simon Cross literally at the last minute, is powering away in front now with his partner Phil Collins just joining him. Phil just appeared from nowhere, and Phil Collins really is somewhere now, because he's roaring round the outside of the rider in red, Richard Knight, who's holding on to the second place with the Danish opposition. Well, they're there, but not quite as far as Richard Knight was concerned in contention.
Blue, red, yellow, white, 60.
What a marvellous England win there. Heat 9 went to Phil Collins in blue. Second in red was Richard Knight, and third in yellow and black was John Eskilsson. So the England Lions are rampant now to the tune of 5-1, and the score 34-26. The riders just coming to the line now for heat number 11. In this, Bo Petersen rides in white. Then it's Jeremy Doncaster riding in blue. Preben Eriksson yellow and black, and outside the one and only Wiggy, who's got the Oxford fans really behind him. Simon Wigg riding in red. And a change just advised. Jens Rasmussen is riding in yellow and black, and it is Rasmussen who goes to the front with partner Bo Petersen. Petersen just taking the lead from his partner, and Jens Rasmussen, who rides for Oxford in the British League, now in second place with Jeremy Doncaster just behind him, and Simon Wigg trying desperately hard to come to terms but not succeeding, and the Danes have it all 5-1, with Petersen looking round to see where his partner is, and Bo shouldn't worry because Jens is just behind him, but just behind him is Jeremy Doncaster. But oh dear, this is disaster for England as Denmark go over the line in first and second place with England third. And we'll put names to the colours. Bo Petersen was the winner in white. Second in yellow and black was Preben Eriksson, and third in blue was Jeremy Doncaster. And cancel Preben Eriksson, remember, it was Jens Rasmussen who took the 5-1 with his partner. 5-1, making the score now 35-31. Well, first it's England making late changes to the lineups, which 7th heat. This time everybody can relax because the riders are according to programme, which brings Chris Morton, who's Manchester born and bred, who started at Ellesmere Port, riding in red. His partner is Kelvin Tatum in blue. Tommy Knudsen rides in white, and Peter Ravn rides in yellow and black. It's the England pair who have the inside advantage, and the two England riders are just getting themselves ready. Chris Morton has been nominated for England so many times now. His first test score at Coventry was 9 points. He currently holds an average of 10.65 in the British League. And my goodness me, there's a hell of a bunch there. A hell of a bunch there. Which sees the rider in white, who you can see there, Tommy Knudsen, getting quite a handful of Oxford dirt. But one can only hope that this injury-prone Danish rider is okay. Certainly he's managing to get up. Now speaking with his teammate Peter Ravn, and referee Frank Ebden decides that Heat 12 was a race that must be restarted again with all four riders, as he was not satisfied with the start of that race. So the two Danes go back to the pits, and we wait for a restart. So there's the rider who had all the problems, Tommy Knudsen, the rider in white, whose mechanics have frantically worked repairing his wrecked frame. Frank Ebden, the referee, generously allowing a little more time for Tommy Knudsen and his mechanic to do what was required. He just about made the 2-minute time allowance. And now the riders once again taking their time and keeping the crowd waiting for the start of Heat 12. And England are there. England are there. If they can just hold that, they'll retrieve some of their glory, because young Mr. Tatum makes a good line, holds on to first place, takes a very wide sweep here at Cowley, looking for partner Morton, who covers him well. How well he did there to keep Peter Ravn out. Peter Ravn's the rider in yellow and black. Chris Morton looks down at his machine and wonders, will it hold for one more lap? If it does, Chris, you're home and dry with Kelvin for a 5-1. And the crowd here at Cowley erupts to see that 5-1, because the two lads worked hard for it. The winner was Kelvin Tatum in blue.
Yellow, white, 61.
Now talking to his partner, Chris Morton in red, who got the second place, and a spirited try from Peter Ravn in yellow and black for third. Well, the 1-5 that was is now reversed 5-1 in England favour, and the score 40-32. Well, the crowd here at Oxford this afternoon, having forsaken their far sides for the Arctic wastes of Cowley, must be saying to themselves, it really was worth it, because the racing here this afternoon has been superb. There has been a lot of excitement, and Richard Knight is the rider in blue here, replacing Jeremy Doncaster. The other riders are Erik Gundersen, Simon Wigg and Johnny Skilton. And It's all happening up there with the rider in blue taking quite a heavy tumble. That's Richard Knight, who was brought in by the England promoter John Berry, and now the red flags are displayed and the red lights too, because Richard Knight's bike is still on the track, and indeed so was he at the time, and Frank Ebden, the referee, wisely decided to stop the race before anybody got hurt. Richard Knight, I hasten to add, is okay. He's just having a word now with his partner Simon Wigg, and that's Simon in fact giving him a lift back to the pits. That is Richard Knight, got into that top turn quite nicely, and then suddenly his bike lifted, and the next thing he knew, and the crowd knew, was he was on the deck. Well, as people in the crowd have been saying, come on Wiggy, and indeed it is all down to Simon Wigg in this one. He's got to contend with the world champion Erik Gundersen in white and John Eskilsson in yellow and black. John's had a very good meeting so far this year, or so far this season. He started his career at Birmingham in 1980, and of course now John is a Wolverhampton asset, having previously ridden for Eastbourne. And Wiggy it is, who is cheered on by the local fans here at Oxford. Simon's got 3 more laps to go, and if he succeeds in holding off John Eskilsson and the world champion, he'll be the hero, not only here at Oxford, but of everybody who supports England. And John Eskilsson now having a bit of a battle with his teammate Erik Gundersen, because Simon, barring any mechanical problems, has calmly got this one sewn up, and the crowd rise to him. Very pleased they are with that 3 points. A win for Simon Wigg then in red, second in yellow and black John Eskilsson, and third in white Erik Gundersen. 3-3, and at heat 13 the score is 43-35. Lost now here at Coventry is why isn't Hans Nielsen riding? Hans, of course, the skipper of the Oxford Cheetahs, could have been used here in place of Preben Eriksson, but Preben Eriksson's ride is taken by Jens Rasmussen, who incidentally rides for Oxford in the British League. He started racing Speedway at the age of 13. The full lineup for heat 14: Chris Morton red, Kelvin Tatum blue, Bo Petersen white, and Jens Rasmussen in yellow and black. And a rider touched the tapes there, and that rider was Bo Petersen in white, who has been excluded by the ACU referee Frank Ebden. And this is a strange situation now, because you'll recall that Jens Rasmussen replaced Preben Eriksson. Bo Petersen has just been excluded for breaking the tapes, and Ole Olsen, the Denmark team manager, has only 2 alternatives: field 1 rider only, or include the rider who has yet to make his debut for Denmark in 1985, Hans Nielsen. And so, will this be the moment? We shall just have to wait and see. Certainly the crowd want to see Hans Nielsen, there's no doubt about that. And we in the box here at Cowley are now awaiting the all-important phone call from Ole Olsen to see whether in fact he will be riding. Well, here's the reaction in the crowd here at Oxford. Hans Nielsen, of course, the skipper of the Cheetahs in the British League, is riding about, and there is Hans Nielsen about to make his 1985 debut as a Danish rider in the Denmark team. Ironically, only because Bo Petersen was excluded for a tape infringement. The full lineup is Chris Morton in red, Kelvin Tatum in blue. The England boys have inside Bo Petersen excluded, replaced by Hans Nielsen in white, and Jens Rasmussen, his Oxford teammate, in yellow and black. History in the making here at Cowley, as the England pair gate well ahead of the two Danes, their nearest opposition at the moment being in the form of Hans Nielsen. Chris Morton with partner Kelvin Tatum, but Tatum's got to be mighty careful because Nielsen is literally on his tail. The Lions rampant at the moment, with Chris Morton leading Kelvin Tatum, with Hans Nielsen third. I say rampant, they've got their tails up now. This is the result that the crowd here at Oxford want to see. A win for Chris Morton in red. Second in blue was Kelvin Tatum, and third in white was Hans Nielsen. So after all that, a 5-1 England win, and England lead Denmark at Heat 14 by 48 points to 36. The lineup for Heat 15 includes Kenny Carter, the Yorkshireman who started his career at Newcastle in the National League. Now, of course, very much a man to reckon with up at Halifax. But Kenny really is having a poor afternoon by his standards. Heat 15 brings him and Phil Collins together, Tommy Knudsen and Peter Ravn. Peter Ravn and Tommy Knudsen combine now. That's Peter Ravn in yellow and black with Tommy Knudsen in white, and Phil Collins in blue trying the outside. Phil has scored 10 points this afternoon from 4 rides. He won't be very happy with third place in this one. Peter Ravn and Tommy Knudsen are having problems now because the blue of Phil Collins suddenly appears from nowhere, and the red from Kenny Carter appears from nowhere, as both Englishmen power through and achieve what must at one stage have seemed the impossible.
61.4.
Because it all came out 3-3 for England in that 15 heat. Peter Ravn, a good winner in yellow and black. Second in blue, Phil Collins. Third in red, Kenny Carter. 3-3, 51-39, and really the Lions are tigering tonight. The lineup for Heat 16 brings together Chris Morton and Kelvin Tatum. with Erik Gundersen and John Eskilsson. Tatum, grid 1, Eskilsson 2, Morton 3, Gundersen 4, and Gundersen not all that still at the tapes, but he gets away with it. Meantime, it's Tatum who leads Eskilsson, with Gundersen now relegated to 3rd place. And again, out of the blue comes Chris Morton there to take John Eskilsson. And this pairing, the most successful pairing so far as England are concerned, combining yet again to produce the goods and a 5-1. 18-year-old Tatum riding superbly. Incredible that a youngster should have such skill. Blue, red, yellow and black, and it's a 5-1 for England. 56-40, a win for Kelvin Tatum then in blue. Second in red, Chris Morton, who's just gesturing to the crowd, acknowledging their applause. And third in yellow and black, John Eskilsson. A good one for England. Heat 17 brings Andy Smith into the lineup in red, replacing Kenny Carter. Phil Collins is his partner. Bo Petersen, and replacing Preben Eriksson, Jens Rasmussen. Andy Smith, of course, a youngster who was born in York, the smallest member of the England team, at 5'4". Rides for Bellevue, of course, in the British League. Jens Rasmussen, selected to be included in the Oxford lineup this year. So changes on both sides, both to England and Denmark. The starting marshal just bringing the riders forward. And anticipation there is going to cost Jens Rasmussen his place, because it was he who was the guilty party. He pushed the tapes, and so Jens says a fond farewell to Heat 17. And so the crowd here at Oxford have the opportunity of seeing Hans Nielsen riding again, because he's taking the place of Jens Rasmussen, who was excluded for a tape infringement. Although it has to be said that Hans Nielsen certainly took full advantage of the 2-minute time allowance. He has his own warming up procedure, which he goes through before he starts preparing for a race, and Hans was going to take advantage of those 2 minutes to do just that. I guess it was warming up exercises, not only for him but his machine as well. And the starting line marshal making sure that there's a bit of room there for the half point Andy Smith, who's on the outside. Very small lad, very reminiscent of Peter Craven in full action. And a jet-propelled start there for Hans Nielsen, with his teammate Bo Petersen in second place, and the two England lads wonder what have hit them, because Nielsen is reveling in that first place with Bo Petersen doing all that's required, and Phil Collins and Andy Smith frankly don't stand an earthly with those two Danish guns blazing away in front of them. There goes Nielsen and Petersen just behind him, and a valiant effort there from Phil Collins, the rider in blue. But frankly, Phil, it's a formality now as Hans Nielsen goes over the line, getting a good win in yellow and black. Real grit and determination on that Dane's face there for that one. A handshake with his partner, Bo Petersen, who got the second place, and well, a good try for Phil Collins in blue. A 5-1 for Denmark, thanks to Bo Petersen and Hans Nielsen. Puts the score at 57-45 with one heat to go. So we come to the last heat of this test match at Oxford, heat 18, in which Simon Wigg rides in red. The place of Jeremy Doncaster is taken by Richard Knight, Tommy Knudsen and Peter Ravn. And, well, Simon Wigg delights the local fans by getting up front. He's riding in red with the two Danes, Tommy Knudsen in white and Peter Ravn in yellow and black in close attendance. And Tommy Knudsen passes Simon Wigg, but in the process, unfortunately, Simon Wigg and Richard Knight collide, and the race, of course, is stopped for safety reasons, and the rider in red is excluded for being the cause of the stoppage. Simon Wigg just seemed to lose power in his machine, and as he started to slow down, so Richard Knight just literally crawled up the back of his bike, and everyone is very relieved to see that Richard Knight is okay. Nothing short of a miracle, that one. So Simon Wigg excluded. Richard Knight unable to take part because he's got problems with his machine. So Andy Smith comes in to replace Richard Knight, and it's Denmark then who are in the lead. Tommy Knudsen in white, Peter Ravn in yellow and black, and Andy Smith at the moment in third place. Knudsen, the skipper of the Coventry Bees, riding in white, leading the Wolverhampton rider Peter Ravn in yellow and black, with Andy Smith, Bellevue, in third place. White, yellow, blue, Smith makes a dive, but doesn't succeed in getting past Ravn. Ravn moving too quickly for him. A win for Tommy Knudsen in white, second in yellow and black, Peter Ravn,
62,
and third in blue, Andy Smith. 5-1 for Denmark, but England win the second test match at Oxford by 58 points to 50, so all square on the series, and the deciding match is at Cradley on Saturday.